Welcome to Dice Nerds and Nagas, coming at you from beautiful Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Dice Nerds and Nagas, brought to you by that one scene in The Dark Knight where Batman falls off of the entire skyscraper and lands on the car, and he's 100% fine afterward, and so's the woman he's holding. What was up with that?
It's his armor, man.
Yeah, if you're in armor and you jump off a skyscraper.
Batman armor.
Second attempt at the
sorry.
superhero landing.
Bruce Wayne has all the technology.
Specifically, it's plot armor.
I think it's brought to us by that one scene in Skyscraper with The Rock that jumps from the crane to the building.
Oh god, that sounds like an amazing scene.
40 meters.
Sure.
Also brought to you by the scene from Volcano, where a guy that's half, eaten up by lava throws a child out of the way of the incredibly slow-moving... Yeah. That scene, for some reason, I've only ever seen that movie once, when I was 5 years old or something at a drive-in, and it just stuck with me.
He was a Terminator, man.
He was
a Terminator
such upper body strength.
And no lower body.
They just know how to make their dick size, their strength size.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, where we left off, our heroes were still on Grandfather Turtle's back, floating through the Astral Sea, basically. They had met a very strange, short, wild sorcerer who will be arriving at some point later in the episode. And they had sort of had a hard time deciding what they were going to do next. I believe they landed on the idea of going to Balin, an ancient, now dead giant god, who is brother to the Allfather.
I'm just worried about the giant monks.
Yeah, not just tall monks, giants that are also monks, living a monastic lifestyle.
Is it like the dude from Nidavellir?
What now?
Nidavellir.
It's just a sound coming out of your mouth.
I need more context, please.
Infinity War?
Oh,
He's
Oh,
a
the
dwarf,
dwarves.
but he's huge.
no,
Yeah,
well, he's not a
that's-
dwarf. They're just regular giants.
Oh,
Not all monks are
I'm
dwarves.
just
It's
also,
just my
I just want to quickly mention, I have a tiny shout out, and then I just have to clear something up as well.
It's tiny. Do you have to whisper it, or can you?
Stage whisper.
So my shout out is for, I think, Reti, Singh, Pouting, Lakshmi, Marvin, again, Marit, Kazuma. Okay, now, actually, you're not supposed to be watching this, so go away.
Yeah, go do your homework or read
Yes.
something educational,
Because
because
this
You ain't gonna get no
you
notes.
need to be 18 or older to watch this, yes?
no, actually, you don't.
Or,
Well, maybe you do, but
watch all the way to the end of an episode.
or like and comment if you're a student, whatever. I mean, I'm not your teacher, so you should probably listen to me instead, because I'm more fun.
I'm a strange man on the internet.
Yeah, I'm a stranger from the internet. Listen to my
Actually,
words.
the last 2 days I've played with a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old on League of Legends. Okay, on League of Legends, and both times they're just like, "You're 33, and you're a teacher, and you're playing League of Legends. How?" Huh? No, I told them already. He knows.
It's this wonderful thing called not having children.
Yes, that's true.
And still being
Can't-
children.
And
Cambodia
so many
fact.
children.
Cambodia fact.
Cambodia has Starbucks. To any Americans watching who know nothing of geography.
That's not Starbucks.
Yes, it is.
It's Tivana.
Well,
That's
it's
Starbucks.
Tivana's the Starbucks brand of tea.
Yeah.
I didn't see Starbucks.
Nice.
Anything?
No, I don't.
So,
Aren't you
anyways,
even?
Okay, let's
so
go.
the D&D
the Astral
game,
Sea.
yeah, so the Astral Sea
Doesn't have Starbucks.
does not have as many Starbucks.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm sure there's at least one. They put them everywhere. But you have received the Heart of Dinesh, which is an ancient, powerful artifact once wielded by Horatius Rex and Samothan, king of the elves, among others.
Yes, we were actually talking to some of them. That's where we left off. And you were like, okay, we gotta go do some shit.
Yeah, I believe you just left Samothan
Jason
behind.
wanted to stay behind while they went off and did shit because he wanted to ask Samothan some more questions.
And then you fought some toads.
Was that after we got the heart?
Yes.
So that happened after.
Oh,
So I think you guys did actually leave Samothan behind.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just doing his own thing. And so beyond that, Lemmy is busy in the castle, I suppose. Perhaps in the library, perhaps in the kitchens, whacking off. I don't know what sort of depraved things that he enjoys doing in his free time when no one's watching. But for you guys, what are you doing? I suppose it's been perhaps one more day. As one more sleep, I guess. There's not really such thing as a day and night in the Astral Sea. Time is
I'm just toad
in
hunting.
this concept.
So there were
Toad hunting.
a couple of things Jess wants to do. I want to maybe find Acki and together just see if there's any books in the library about the Astral Sea. What might we expect here? Another thing I want to do in the library was find a book on, like, I'm specifically looking if Modak had a bestiary on the Underdark.
Okay, you'll find Acki in the library, because he's always in the library, either
He's
reading
such
a book or
nerd, Acki.
writing books, because he's got so many journals he needs to complete.
Yeah, alright.
Right, so you enter the library. You can see there's maybe a few of the elves of the Winter Court milling about, just looking through, trying to find some good porn or something hidden away. I don't know. But you are able to see Acki scribbling away in a journal, maybe recounting some of his adventures. I don't know.
I imagine Modak has books of tasteful nudes, not porn.
Well, I mean,
No. I'm
You think
sorry,
it was freaky?
No, I show you the section, his private section. It's pretty
It's
harsh.
under P for privates.
I didn't know giants could bend that way, but that's besides the point. If you found any books here about the Astral Sea or maybe like monsters of the Underdark or something like that, bestiary.
Well, that'd be two different sections.
Yeah, I know. It's two different
And also,
things,
I'd
but,
like to know what specific information you're looking for,
Yeah.
other than just like, the Astral Sea, what is it? Or all the animals in the Underdark,
Okay, I guess would be something particular to. Is there any specific area that the bodies of the dead gods congregate, or is it all spread out? I want to find out if there's any mention of Lotus books about Malakath and where he might be, that chosen of Mistra.
Okay.
It's not going to be there.
I don't know.
Where is Malachite? No one stays still for like eternity.
This is true.
It's more
There
of a
might be
current event
there's like
something.
mention about him maybe in the Astral Sea, and the Underdark thing. I'm literally looking for a bestiary.
Okay, but I mean, I'd say you could probably find stuff that has animals from the Underdark,
Yeah.
but like
that I actually want to
specifics-
keep on my person, and every night I want to read a bit through it so I can get more familiar with what these things are.
Well, I mean, like what things? I guess are you
I
interested
mean,
in?
like so.
Because I doubt there'd
The
be just
Underdark
like
is not his
It's gonna be-
speciality, but like it'll be the greatest dangers, I guess. Or what are the most fearsome things in the Underdark to be wary of? Like, I mean, I as Adrian know, like
oh,
there's
give me
mind flayers, there's fucking potentially beholders, there's cloakers, there's this type
yeah.
of stuff.
So
But I don't know what he would find in this book.
give me like a research roll then, I guess, to see
Okay.
if you could find something that would be accurate and relevant to
Okay.
the
Can I
current.
get advantage because he's helping me?
Yeah.
Well, do you decide to help him?
Well, let's say, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So investigation?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What else could it be? I guess.
I don't know.
I think investigation is best.
Natural 20.
Okay, so I would say you are able to find something that would be quite useful, a journal, first-hand account, from a giant expedition into the Underdark that was undertaken no more than 15 or so years ago. So, throughout the journal, they encounter several horrifying creatures, and dastardly characters, locations, and things like that. So through reading that, you'll be able to understand some of the creatures and perhaps some of the weaknesses as well.
That's what I'm looking for. And whenever I have free time, I'll just be going through that. And then the Astral Sea thing, I guess, was the other one.
Is there a place where the dead gods congregate in the
Would
Astral
that
Sea?
be religion?
Um,
Did go to us?
no, another research check.
Okay. So 11 minus 1 is 10.
So, I mean, looking through, you can find some accounts of people that...
Oh, unless I do my blessings of knowledge, then I will get 12.
Is that something that you have to, like, use and then it's used
It's
up? Or is
I can do it once per day. I can give myself proficiency in any skill.
I would say it wouldn't change the outcome.
Okay, cool.
So, going through the library for a bit longer takes, I don't know, a significant amount of time. You're able to find different accounts of the Astral Sea.
Okay.
Even an account from a merchant that claims to have seen a dead god body floating in the Astral Sea, but nothing about them congregating in one place or anything like that.
Okay. And I guess there's no mention of Malkath in there with that kind of role.
Well, no, there's not any mention of Malkat.
Awesome.
He's more of a current figure right now, so there wouldn't be a lot written about him necessarily unless...
Okay.
Cool. Special. Right, let's see, everybody else? Any particular business to take care of before...
Toad hunting was more than...
I would say... let's just skip through it, I guess. You find 2 more of them.
Does...
In...
Feather hit India?
Yeah,
So
you're able to
Doesn't
beat
anything
them.
on Toad.
Yeah, you're able to beat them.
He has a fight.
Yeah.
How many? 2 more.
2 more of them, so I don't know how many are left.
One.
1 left. Okay, I'll make that something special.
Elder Red Dragon.
TPK. Off the fucking...
I don't even know if an Elder Red Dragon would be a TPK at this point.
It's also plus, I don't think they can turn into gargantuan things, right? It's a large,
Just a
medium
large
large.
beast. Yeah, it must be beasts.
Can't really be a dragon.
Right. So, I would say then that midday or something, I don't know, partway through the day, Quintus returns, the Saurian guard of the village below. He's coming by himself. So, no Sarah was there. Now, but Quintus arrives. He wishes to speak to all of you gathered together, if at all possible. So, wants to ask, is there perhaps a private place, not just out in the middle?
Should we go to a control room?
Well, I mean, sure.
What's his name's up there?
We could go to the bedroom, the main bedroom.
Oh yeah, we'll just have to give you, just come this way,
Yeah.
we'll just give you a token.
Yeah, so he goes through the process, gets the token, and he's sitting down with you guys all in the master bedroom, and he wants to explain, well, I know Grandfather Turtle wished to impart some final words to you. The time that has come now. He is healed up enough to leave this plane of existence, this dimension, if you will. And so he wished to speak through me to you, if that's all right.
Of course.
Sure, but is he going to take over control of your mind, or did you just bring a message?
He will... I am going to willingly allow myself to be a conduit for his thoughts.
Cool.
I didn't want to alarm any of you, as the procedure can seem... the effect can be a little unsettling, I suppose, to those not used to it.
Very well.
So he focuses up, sits in kind of a meditative pose, and you can see... Ow. His head lolls back into a wall hanging. And
That was unsettling.
I was. His mouth is kind of
A jar.
jaw is, I don't know, it's sharp.
A jar.
Maw, I don't know. It's like a crocodile's mouth or whatever. His snout, yeah, opens up wide, and the words just kind of seem to be emanating from deeper within him.
Oh man, buddy tries the hockaloo into it.
Oh no!
Hmm.
That's not cool, man.
That's gross, but he's not going to react. He's basically like
That is just...
out of body right now.
I know, but
We're kind of
he
focused
opened
on. Can
himself
we
up.
make a perception check to see if we can?
Well, is the loogie invisible?
No, buddy just peers and
I guess you can see him spitting the loogie into his
Can
mouth.
I make a dex check to throw something at him?
I guess, yeah.
Alright,
What's his AC?
it's
I'm gonna throw a
Throw
book
a
at him
sword
or
at
something.
him.
So 15 plus a lot.
Alright. So, the very book you were reading on the Underdark, smashes against Buddy. The pages go up in flames. Any useful information is gone forever.
Yes! That's
It's like, what was that? It's like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Every time they throw something to the ground, it explodes. No, you throw the book at him, it knocks him in the head or whatever. Falls to the ground like an injured housefly.
That's gross. Not without his consent.
Unsettling. Grandfather Turtle, he's beyond caring about a little thing like spit, though. He's got people like living, banging, defecating on top of him their whole lives, so... Guess they can just chuck it off the edge.
Yeah,
but...
It's like shit off a turtle's back.
Yeah, exactly.
Although if he's been alive for 8,000 years, I'm sure Quintus is into all sorts of things by now.
I mean, you get bored.
Yeah.
Okay.
as Buddy falls down, he goes, what? You lose.
Fatality. Anyway, so this deeper, more familiar, sort of calming tone emanating from Quintus. Hello, adventurers. I'm happy to speak to you one more time before we move on. I've been thinking a little bit about your mission, your quest, and its importance, and I wanted to offer you the chance one more time to come with us.
That's very gracious, but I mean, speaking for myself, I'm gonna have to decline.
If you know how important it is, why are you asking us to come with you?
Because I fear that you won't succeed. And it's in my nature to try and protect those that have
Great pep talk.
come to me.
I don't think I think it'd be fine to begin with. Like, I'd be able to go along with you and my people, and it would be great. But maybe after, like, if I could make it, maybe after like 50 years, I would be extremely bored. I need to be able to live somewhere where I can go off and steal things. And if I live here with everybody I know, they're not going to be cool with that. So I'm just going to say no.
You know, it's kind of weird, but maybe so. If we did come with you, would the items we currently have disappear?
No.
So that means for the next cycle,
Who cares?
we would be ahead, and then maybe we can revert things back to our cycle somehow.
By the time the next cycle begins, we'd be long dead before.
No, we wouldn't. We'd be on Grandfather Turtle.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
it's
returning it to the beginning of the next cycle,
Mm-hmm.
it's the beginning of civilization as it restarts all over again.
Oh, I know.
We wouldn't live another
10,000
10,000 years to the end of the through the end of the next cycle.
If we just came back at a time when we needed to, instead of like right at the beginning, then we'd be ahead on the item search.
Are you a
The
time
items
machine, grandfather?
The items would,
I don't have
the
such
rest
a
of Horatius'
thing.
set would no longer exist.
It always exists, right?
No, it
What?
existed for the last cycle.
Horatius' things. these items, they didn't start with him, did they?
No, they were wielded even in the cycle previous to him. I believe that was the Mummy Lord that you guys tangled with was one of them, an even earlier wielder of one of the items.
So, I mean, this is a weird thing. If we are already late, maybe that's a good idea. I mean, we won't be able to save our world, but maybe we can still
You
start
can't
the
take us to
cycle.
a time cycle.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go back to the
And
beginning of the cycle.
we can't ask Grandfather Turtle to not return until the end of the next cycle.
Good.
So don't we age?
You would not age
If you
with
stay
my
on-
protection.
Yeah,
But then that is going to be like 4,000 years of waiting, maybe 4,500. So,
That'd be,
Time jump.
that'd be asking Grandfather Turtle and everyone on him to wait for 10,000 years.
yes.
Each cycle's about 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
It's
it's just,
shopping every now and
If
again.
you
It's
have
just-
the patience, you could live to see the next cycle after this one.
it's just a thought. I mean,
If we succeed.
you know, it's kind of like, what's that thing where you put something, like what squirrels do. You know?
So,
No?
so we're giving,
Squirrels, like, they spend all the time collecting nuts and keep the nuts in one place, and then
Where
during the
squirrels?
winter, they can come and eat their nuts. It's
In
like
fact,
squirrels.
Squirrels lose 50% of the nuts they hide from themselves.
In this case, the nuts are items. So, I don't know. It's just an idea.
Well, what do you say,
Uh,
Feather Marshal?
I do not wish to hide or wait.
And do you, Acki?
I have been spending weeks and months writing all the knowledge that I know in preparation of my death. I'm ready to fight.
I've also been keeping a journal. We should compare.
Well, the time that I shall leave this world is soon at hand, is nigh. If you wish, you could keep your journal with Quintus here, and it will be preserved.
Yeah, all my journals.
Yes, please.
I show him stacks and stacks of all the books I've been writing on everything we've learned on demons, devils, giants.
Since the fucking tomb thing, Jason got that book from Elvira, and he's been writing down where the items are and how they got them stuff in every language that he knows. So it's just like repeat language after language after language for people. So I'll keep that for Grandfather Quintus for sure.
And
Grandfather Quintus.
Yeah. Well, he's a hell of a lot older than me. I can call him Grandfather Quintus. Why not?
And to Lemmy, I'm sorry to say that I cannot extend the same invitation to you to follow me to my personal realm and hide away from the cycle.
Hi. You run!
I'm afraid there won't be anywhere to run to at the end. But perhaps you'll find somewhere else, somewhere just as safe.
Danny has pockets too.
And he goes on, I guess. Continues on speaking through Quintus a bit longer. And I want you to know that though I find the aim of your quest unlikely, I don't truly believe that it's impossible. Impossible is just another word for things that have not happened yet. Maybe the cycle can be stopped, maybe the Void Naga and the All-Father can be defeated or convinced otherwise to stop their endless cycle of violence. But it's not in my
I never
nature.
ever thought of talking to them. You have a point.
Even I, who's witnessed more than one cycle, have never spoken to them in person. I'm not sure exactly if the Void Naga even has a true language of his own. But
May I ask a weird question of you? Are you somehow related to them?
no. They have existed far, far longer than I.
Okay.
I merely am a creation that found a good place to hide. A crack that no one bothered to clean up. And I'm hoping hoping that they'll leave it alone this time as well. But even now, I still wonder if perhaps this cycle they'll be more thorough and there won't be anything left. Or perhaps they'll be less thorough and there'll be bits and pieces of the old universe scattered about. That's unknowable.
This reminds me of the ending of Neverending Story.
Did they ever come after you like they did this time before?
No.
So, okay.
That was
So they're on to you.
a new, more unpleasant situation than I've ever been put in.
Right. Okay. No, I'm definitely for trying to fuck these guys up.
I commend you for your bravery in the face of such odds.
I think you should just label it as stupidity and be honest with yourself.
Well, should you succeed, then the stupidity will be bravery once again, I suppose.
Yes.
It's the conclusion that matters, not the
Interchangeable.
method,
I like that.
We began
not
a
the
quest.
motivation.
We began a quest. We must end this quest. And if we were to run and hide on Grandfather Turtle, and he were found and eradicated, and we had sat here and done nothing, that would be the true tragedy.
For sure.
Who's this guy? What happened to Acki?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you very weird.
I have one more gift that I can bestow upon you, but it is only for one of you.
Tips.
Golden.
I was saying I was laughing because he said tips.
Long ago, I, in perhaps an act of desperation, gave a mortal a command in the god's tongue itself. It was the command to open, to unlock any bindings. I fear that it was a mistake, a grievous one at that. And so, in perhaps a form of penance, I will teach one of you the word for bind in the god's tongue. I understand that Kunla is at large in the world, devising his own plans. And I think a fitting end for such a vile creature would be to be chained up once again somewhere, dark and horrible, watching the world be destroyed around him.
Feather, I think you and Acki and I maybe have the most stake in this.
I shall take the word of binding, since I released Kunla. I shall take the word of
Fitting.
That does seem fitting to me then. So, Acki, if you would, please just relax for a moment and open your mind.
Some poppers.
Bend over and up.
Close your eyes and open your mouth.
That's exactly what Buddy would say. Be like, hey, open your mouth. From the floor.
Okay, Acki, you instantly take about 23 psychic damage,
You did.
but
I can survive 23.
from the after, you feel seems like your whole body's shaking from intensity and strength, and you have it now lodged in your brain. A word spoken, a command that can basically shape reality to your words, to bind. Whether it's Kunla or some annoying burglar or just some hench person,
Can you use it over and over again?
you can.
How many? Just unlimited usage?
Yeah, this is a powerful tool I give you
Once per day.
if you're able, with the proper materials.
Okay.
So if you have, a very finely crafted enchanted chain of some sort, you could pretty much bind anything under that.
Okay.
If you have like a flimsy rope or something, it will be as strong as a god's word, basically.
Oh, those silk wrappings I had before.
Oh, gosh. Getting kinkier. Anyways, so, beyond that, I believe Quintus himself had a few words to speak to you. He's lived a long time. He's seen many things. He's even met this Horatius Rex once in person. So, I believe he had a few words to speak to you, and then we will depart. Goodbye, all of you. And
Thank you, Grandfather.
Thank you very
Very
much.
well, Grandfather.
I truly hope that you succeed in your task. This was a pretty great universe with...
Should we come find you if we do, or will you know?
I'll be back, Terminator style. And with that, Grandfather Turtle's presence leaves Quintus's body. Salty.
Just wrong.
There's giggling coming from the floor.
So you see Quintus. He's back to his old self. He goes on a little bit to speak. He says, "I just wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the things I've experienced from the previous cycle. I thought you might be interested in knowing what it was like." Well, I was a legionary in the Saurian army, and it was an interesting place, the Saurian Empire. Brutality on a scale that I don't think has ever been seen in this universe. I mean, we were a conquering force. The humans, by the end of the cycle, they were nearly extinct. The vast majority of them were just house slaves, mostly used to power magical rituals with their blood. The elven kingdoms, we crushed underfoot in the matter of months. They ceased to exist as a people. Even the merfolk of the seas were in awe of our power. But what we didn't realize was that the Saurians were a created race, basically bred by Nagas to be shock troops in service of the Void Naga. Our religion, our society, it had been manipulated the entire time, all for the goal of empowering these Nagas. I mean, they were all of our emperors were Nagas. All of the nobles were high-ranking Yuanti or Nagas. The Yuanti, they were probably the greatest collaborators of them all between the Nagas and the Saurians. And that is why Horatius Rex was so special. He wasn't a Yuanti, he wasn't a Naga. He had no blessing from any of the Nagas' gods that they tricked us into worshipping. He represented the Saurians in the Empire. The strength, the honor, and the fighting spirit of the Legion was embodied by Horatius Rex. He didn't pray to any fickle gods. He just hacked and cleaved and brutalized his way through anyone that opposed him. And with almost a single-minded determination, he took that skill and he used it to challenge the gods themselves. And I think I can say that I see a little bit of that tenacity and that single-mindedness in you. All of you. Except for you, maybe. I don't know you very well. No. If you can, do seek him out. His artifacts were scattered for a reason. His tomb survived the cycle for a reason. And if you can unlock it, I think that Horatius Rex, given a Horatius Rex. He's a real toughie. No, if given a second chance, I think that your powers combined with his could strike a blow against these gods that would be felt through all the cycles. Maybe that's the most that a mortal can accomplish is striking a blow and making an impression that the gods remember. But that's all I wanted to tell you, I suppose. I've lived through one cycle, and I hope to live through another, and perhaps someday I can strike a blow myself, but right now I protect these people, and that's enough for me. Farewell, then.
Goodbye, Quintus. So, just one question for you. Have you ever been to the area that we know now as Sprite's Falls?
Yes, there was a place of that name that we traveled to a long time ago.
Do you know who the mage was?
Well, I remember in that I was part of the legion that conquered that area around what is still known as Sprite's Falls, to my amazement. There was a human, I believe, a human mage king. He is dabbled in dark magics, necromancy, things like that. He thought that he could bring his fallen followers back to life faster than we could kill him. And he was wrong. We burned down his tower, leveled the fields, put the people into slavery, chattel slavery, and we never did catch the king, though. Perhaps that's the same mage you're speaking of.
There was a creature there, a Nothic, and from what I understand, they're wizards who become obsessed with something and consumed by the need. Yeah.
Well, we sent a small detachment and surrounded the falls because we heard of refugees hiding there, but after surrounding it for 6 months, no one came in or out.
Okay, thank you. That always just, I thought maybe I'd ask. That's helped clear up my mind a little bit.
Ah, yes. Good old days back in the Legion. Really had no idea just how much of a dick I was back then. But,
It's surprising you've got a memory like a steel trap after all these years. It's great.
well, let's just say, not a lot of stuff as exciting as my old military days happens on Grandfather Turtle. As far as protection goes, up until these followers of the Void Naga, things have been peaceful out here. I mean, my spear was mostly used to catch wayward fish and more than attack anyone.
Well, I hope that you guys survive.
And you too. That will mean we can come back to a familiar world, and that would be nice. And that's that. Quintus will take his leave as soon as y'all are ready, and Grandfather Turtle and his people are preparing to go to his own private realm, his own personal plane of existence.
Should we get Corton to fire up the engines?
I think so. So, are you guys still okay with the Winter Court staying here?
Yes.
From the castle?
Taking it with us?
Yeah.
Sure.
Lenny, are you okay with the Winter Court staying here? It's as much your castle as ours now.
Are you, you're gonna show Corton where to go?
Bring the coffee.
Right, so, heading up to the control room, Corton's shoveling, shovels full of gold and diamonds and gems into the hopper, firing up the engines for liftoff. The Astral Sea is shown as kind of a glowing 3D image on top of sort of the GPS, I guess. A few points are mentioned there, but not Balin's body, just mostly here's how you get back to the Inn of Doors. Here is a few other places of note, I guess. But you know exactly where to pinpoint Balin's body is over there. So, you tell Courtney, and I imagine it's liftoff time.
Liftoff.
Alright? Castle, very quietly, rises up, its force field shimmering, the whole thing's just humming with activity as you lift off of Grandfather Turtle's body. You pass through the protective force field that surrounds him and his people. And you can see the scars on his back. They're noticeable, but much more healed than before. The rivers of blood have been cleaned up. And as you make a small bit of distance, you can look back and see that Grandfather Turtle has encased himself in a swirling ball of water. Shimmering emerald water that soon bursts, just leaving a heavy mist kind of traveling throughout the astral plane. Where he is there no longer. Just a large, empty void.
I was so hoping you were gonna say he disappears in a blink of light like a starship from like a warp thing.
A wormhole.
Like I was just sitting here watching that happen over and over in my head.
Like a hole.
I like what you did.
Light speed.
His head starts stretching. His body goes. Are we there yet?
The astral plane flows on almost unnoticeably as there's just small bits of rock passing by. It's mostly an empty place. After a few hours of travel, though, you would know this place, and you've all heard about it. You can see what looks to be a large garden surrounded by ornate marble pillars, floating on a small jut of rock and dirt through the astral plane.
Lemmy, were these giants known to be friendly? As we're arriving.
Oh no, this is Ivan the Green Thumb. Ivan the Green Thumb?
Ivan the Green Thumb's garden.
The Green Thumb's Eternal Gardens.
That's what I call that too.
Is he known to be friendly? Because he's not expecting us.
Actually, from what the kobold dude said, little is known about him, and he doesn't really seek worship or anything like that. He just had a candle that never goes out.
Friendliness. Have people been known to, what has been happening?
You guys were told about him recently, too.
Yeah.
I mean, do people try to visit him and never come back?
It was suggested that we stop there, so I don't think
I think it's fine.
that suggestion would be a bad suggestion.
Just putting caution out there.
Just don't put out a candle.
Yeah, try not to light it all on fire.
Oh no. Look it over, buddy. Do not do anything.
I wasn't talking about you. I was just saying in general.
So Corton, I guess, points it out. He says, that's kind of weird, right?
No, I even know his garden.
A garden floating in the middle of space.
That's not the weirdest thing about this place.
No, probably not by a long shot. I guess I did just see a giant turtle disappear in a swirling ball of water. So I guess you're right. I shouldn't talk. A garden is probably the least strange thing I've seen today.
Do you guys want to stop here?
I think that some people expressed a wish to stop here.
Buddy does a Superman, charges straight in and goes, Ivan, no! And he tries to be as loud as possible, trying to get anyone's attention.
I leap out and I run after Buddy.
So yeah, the castle can stop over there without much difficulty, and drawbridge is dropped right near.
You really don't need that.
Right near. Yeah, you don't really. So he just, runs across the empty space of the astral plane. I guess you guys can cross over on the.
I look at Phil. It's like, how does this man stay alive this long?
I'm going to give it a shot too.
Alright, I think everyone can do that. I don't think you have to be a planar creature to move through the astral plane.
You think it.
You just think it. So You imagine yourself crossing over, and you slowly pull yourself across the air.
As I go across, I'm like,
I'm pulling invisible rope.
Maybe whatever visual helps you envision the movement more clearly. So,
don't you have like a affinity with vessels, like boats and stuff?
Land motor vehicles.
Okay.
Own vehicles.
okay.
so
Especially not boats.
you find yourself at the entrance to Ivanhoe's garden. It's surrounded by open columns allowing you to peek within, but there's still a large doorway, ornately carved, and it opens, revealing a rather unassuming man. He has a bushy gray beard, bit of wispy hair kind of pulled over, and little spectacles that he seems to be constantly fidgeting with. Says, welcome! I am Ivan of the Green Thumb, I guess people call me. What can I do for you travelers here? Do you require a place to rest and relax?
Do you do currency exchange?
Well, what do you have?
Where did that go?
Well, if it's flowers or plants you want, I can certainly exchange currency for those. Now, if you'd like to enter my eternally peaceful gardens, then by all means, go right ahead. But before, you must simply place your hands on the vase.
Okay.
And he points to a small, little white clay vase full of dark brown, black dirt. Loam, I guess.
Buddy immediately charges forward and puts his hand on it.
I didn't plan for Buddy doing it.
Yeah.
Let's see. A twisted, thorny little weed grows out of the dirt. The flower, as the flower blooms, all of the petals just fall off onto the dirt, and it looks like a tongue goes before the flower disappears.
He pats the vase a few times. What happened?
Another flower, just one time each, please.
Okay. Jess will go and touch the vase and
What,
pat buddy.
Buddy looks at Ivanhoe. What just happened?
This basically just helps me understand what kind of person is coming into my garden. Your personality, your past, even your future, potentially.
Buddy whips out his thing and pees on the plant, hoping to revive it.
He is encased in a small bubble of energy as soon as he pulls his dong out, basically. It just sort of fills the bottom of the bubble with his own urine, so he's just stewing in that.
Oh, he's liking that. He's like jingling it
I
around.
think this one I'd like to keep out of the garden.
We've been trying to keep him out of our lives, but unfortunately he keeps coming back.
Buddy looks over. Let me join me.
I've moved the imp back to your castle. I hope that's all right.
That's quite
Fine
alright.
by me.
Aki looks at him. That's quite alright. It's very understandable.
Just touches the vase.
All right. Your flowers grow tangled, strangling each other for life. A light pink gladiolus wilts, strangled by a white samp dragon flower. I'm not sure what the fantasy name would be, but in the real world, a Queen Anne lace flower overshadows a lilac, which now withers away due to a lack of light. And I also have, let's see, list of flower meanings. I printed up.
Oh, we wouldn't know the flower meetings as we did, right?
No, but,
I did not write down what the flowers were.
oh damn it, I deleted it, didn't I? Because I'm a retard.
Don't worry, we have it on video.
Yeah.
But maybe just I guess we'll write down there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just find the image again. It's like one of the first things that came up. Here we go. Yes. Yes, I believe. Yes, this is it.
Snapdragon? Or was,
Yeah, so I'll just repeat it, I guess. So your flowers, 4 flowers grow up, tangled around each other. There's a light pink gladiolus flower that is wilting due to lack of nutrients and light. It's being strangled by a white samp dragon flower. A Queen Anne lace grows large, which overshadows a lilac, which now withers away. You can see Ivan looking over your flowers carefully, saying, seems that you've been in conflict with yourself for some time.
I would say that's entirely correct.
You're highly driven, but not exactly sure where to put that drive yet.
I think I'm getting an idea of what I'd like to do and how I'd like to progress now. But yeah, it's been kind of rough. That's a little wolf joke. Yeah.
Rough. Well, I hope that perhaps a short stay here can help clear your mind and help you decide on a much clearer path. Now, who would like to go next?
Acki, my interest has been perked. He places his hand upon the base.
Acki, your flower grows very quickly. It's rotted and black up to the stem, but a light pink protea bulb sits on top of the rotted stem. It's a new young flower, but growing very quickly.
Interesting.
Says, this one paints an interesting picture. You've lived a rather morally dubious life, haven't you?
Oh, it's been black as night.
But it's changed, hasn't it?
Recent journeys have given me a new direction and purpose.
Well, I hope that I can help reinforce your new purpose here with a short time in my gardens. Then,
Can I just say, as a South African, the fact that you chose a protea
What that mean? Was
to symbolize the fact that he's changed from extremely evil to something mildly good is fucking insane.
well, let me look at that chart. It said Protea was,
No, it doesn't matter what the fuck the chart says.
South
It's
African.
just South African symbolism. Seriously, dude, that was insane.
well,
The gladiolus.
in a
was
good way or a
strangling-
crappy way?
No, in an amazing way, because you probably did it by complete accident.
Yeah.
do you know how they reproduce?
No.
By fire.
Oh,
Seeds are released through forest
well, that's
fire.
kind of neat.
Yes.
I know. I'm just sitting like the two of us are sitting here like, what the fuck?
The
Works quite well.
Oh, and
was
also-
strangling the gladiolus or the other way around?
The Samp Dragon was strangling.
They
Yes.
literally reproduce through fire.
The gladiolus was strangled by your desire.
Also, all the sporting stuff in South Africa went from the Springboks stuff to the Protea stuff, which is also how they tried to do away with the old apartheid symbolism and turn it into something new and better.
Because
Like,
nothing
it's-
says racism like an animal.
No, it's not. That's not what I mean.
No, that's just in my mind. Like, how is a fucking buck a never mind.
Yeah, I just picked it because it says on this list that it represents daring, and he did that daring rescue of the Ice Queen recently.
Nice, that was pretty
Yes.
cool.
Right, so then, who else, I guess?
I want to go that.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, Perdita, for you. A huge bloom of multicolored Bouvardia flowers. Each petal on each flower a different color, and each stem diverting wildly from one another. Grows. It basically looks like a whole bouquet of rainbow flowers grows out in every different direction, not
Of
just
what?
in one. It's called Bouvardia.
How do you spell that?
I think on the second row,
Sounds
second
about
to the
right.
left. He says, well, it seems that I have a very vibrant spirit that sometimes goes in many different directions, hard to pin down just in one way. So,
Sounds about
it
right.
seems to me that your future could go any number of ways, Perdita.
That's how I like it.
Let's see, there was Acki, there's Mardum, I guess. She's not here, but I'm just going to do Mardum's. Mardum, who has been extremely quiet. She didn't disappear into flames again. I figure I can't do that 2 times in a row. Places her hands on the vase. And a single green stem, perfectly straight, with a blood-red daffodil growing at the top. It's perfectly symmetrical from its petal, and from its petals, blood slowly drips back down into the dirt. Because of the whole Kunla connection. Let's see, there's Feather and Lemmy. So, Feather's not here. Lemmy, you want to go last?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ivanhoe was like, oh, I just remembered. It's tea time. Let me get you something to drink. I've got a lovely botanical tea that I think will delight all of your senses.
That sounds good.
And he goes into the garden, and just a brief view inside of the garden. If anyone peeks in there, you're like, oh, it's so gorgeous. My heart. And then he comes back out with a drink that is both fizzy and sweet. And
tea.
it just fills your whole body with warm comfort as you drink it. Feather, would you like to see what your flower grows into?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so he puts out a little stool for you, and no, you can reach it. So, as you put your hands on the vase, 2 flowers grow. Two flowers grow on opposite sides of the same stem. A pure white samp dragon sits opposite of a jade green lily. He tells you these 2 flowers represent both majesty and desire.
Jade.
And yes, the jade color is very strange. It's not how they normally grow. So make of that what you will. I feel like perhaps you have some strong desires, but you also have an opposing desire for majesty, to be majestic, or to return to some sort of state of majesty. Is this true? Or am I misinterpreting something?
Your Majesty or leadership.
Well, perhaps I can help you find what you're looking for here. And finally, you, sir. Lemmy, is it? Okay, so Lemmy, you place your hands on the vase as well. Reach up and get it, I guess, or there's some steps leading up to it, I guess, just because all kinds come. And let's see, no flower grows. For a moment, the dirt is just sitting perfectly still, but then a little bit rises, a little bit kind of bumps up, and a small white rabbit digs itself out of the dirt,
Ta-da!
looking around quizzically before hopping out of the vase and jumping away off into the astral plane. Oh, I'll have to send someone to get that back later.
Just sadly celebrating a little
You strike me as someone who magic is a rather chaotic force in your life. Although I think I could have guessed that just from looking. Well, come on into the garden then. I don't...
Did we do feather?
Oh, did we do feather? Yes.
Good.
So come on in then. Take a short rest here, and I'll clue you in, I guess, to what's going on in the astral plane. That's what you're after. That's what you want, after all, right? Information?
Yes, we've heard about you for quite some time, and it's an honor to meet you, actually.
Ah, well, Thank you. There's no need to. It's really no trouble, no honor at all. Really, I'm just a guy, just a gardener, a lover of botany. Now come on in, everyone.
Cool.
So he opens up the large doors, and you enter essentially a place where you could not possibly be upset. The flowers and plants are arranged in just such a way that you're filled with inner peace, whether you like it or not. A raging barbarian, upon entering here, would instantly calm down and snuggle some kittens and drink some tea with his pinky out. A raging dragon would dare not burn it for blighting something so beautiful. And two raging forces of nature could stop and take a moment in the middle of a battle to appreciate something and decide to let it stick around a little longer so that others can enjoy it in the future.
I detect an anti-rage spell.
So he brings you out to the center of the garden. You can see there's actually a few other people watering plants and studying, notebooks open in their laps, sketching different flowers.
Are they naked?
No, clothed, I guess, yeah. Don't know why they'd be naked. But he points toward a few cushions sitting in the soft grass and sits down in one himself. Says, so, as I said earlier, I'm Ivan the Green Thumb, protector of this place, chief gardener, I guess. So, what is it that you desire? Something that cures a poison or tames a beast? Imagine you have the look of adventurers about you, and I don't think you came to the astral plane for no reason.
If you are offering plants, things which would heal, could be of great help to us.
Yes, there's many such plants that have healing qualities. I've got essentially any plant known to man here. So you've come here for a healing herb. Is someone afflicted with a terrible illness, or?
I actually wasn't considering it initially, but seeing as how everything here grows in abundance, we were thinking we are about to embark on a quest and adventure where these items would come in handy.
Okay, so you need supplies then. Well, tell me, what is your quest then? What noble endeavor am I going to, would you ask me to assist?
Stop the end of the cycle.
What do you mean, stop the cycle?
Yeah.
We don't want to stop the end of the cycle.
My brain hurts.
Stop the whole thing, I guess.
The whole cycle.
All
No.
of it. Don't want the cycle to end. No. Want the cycle to end.
You're here because of this cycle, eh? Well, I don't think there's a plant that can stop the cycle. I mean, they...
Bet you got one that'll make us forget about it.
That I do. Yeah, some people come here to forget their troubles.
Have some of that. A baggie or two, like an ounce, maybe.
So that'll cost you about 300 American.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't have that many Americans. It's only two here.
So, it says stopping the cycle. That's not something that I'm sure is possible, really, but it's a noble endeavor, I suppose, stopping all that destruction. As for me and my followers, we're content to face our end surrounded in the most peaceful surroundings possible. That's what we want, a quiet, quick end.
How many cycles have you been here? How long have your gardens existed?
Just the previous one.
Just the previous one?
I hope that perhaps they'll allow this garden to survive one more cycle, but if they don't, then that's my fate.
Cue the Nagas.
Burn it all.
Damn it, everywhere we go.
Do you get much chance to leave the gardens?
I don't leave the gardens, but I have a few followers that go around. Over here, this man here, Johan, he's a planar traveler who has collected specimens from, gosh, all over. Just recently he brought in some poor, almost extinct, mind-controlling, flesh-eating plants from the far realms that were nearly lost forever.
I'll make sure to stay away from those.
Can we turn those into a potion and put them on our arrowheads?
Well, they would make a potent poison, although the effects would not be very quickly. They would just slowly rot whoever touches it away over the course of a few painful weeks.
Could we like put it on grandfather? What? No. What's the big?
Allfather.
Could we put it on the Allfather's like big toe, and then he'll just slowly die of foot rot.
I mean, with a large enough dose, he might lose the toe, but
That's insane.
an amount needed for that would,
Oh, yeah, totally
doesn't-
unbalanced. When you lose a turn.
If the old father
Yeah.
fights the great Naga, I believe old father would have some sort of immunity toward poison.
We could
Most likely.
on his small toe because you really need your small toe.
That's the most important one for sure.
So the people that come and go here, I was just wondering, have you heard any information about this? We heard that there's a powerful wizard here in the Astral Plane somewhere with the name of Malakath.
Yes,
Would you know where he is?
I would. Malakath actually came to this garden not 2 weeks ago, perhaps, on a quest of his own.
Did he say where he was going?
He did.
Would you be able to share that information?
Well, I suppose I could. No reason not to. I don't think Malakath would mind. He intends to find a host for Mistra, a new vessel for her to inhabit that would be powerful enough to perhaps tip the scales in this cycle. His quest is quite similar to yours, really.
Isn't Mithra the opposite of your...
No, Mistra was originally kind of...
Who's
The
bad one?
original Mistra was kind of birthed by Saloon and Shar, and they're split.
Oh, Shar was
Sort
the
of.
one that makes your guys bad.
No, that was,
What's his name again?
I remember his fucking
I
name.
can't remember it. It's in a notebook, one of my notebooks.
But he's sort of the...
Asking the tough
Way
questions.
back when we were still in the swamp.
Asking the tough questions here on Hard
I
Talk.
know what that is, but I cannot.
Malar.
Malar, okay.
But Malar and Saloon, I mean, we figured out they're the same
Same
being, which is interesting. Finding another host for Mistra sounds very, very worthwhile. I actually originally wanted to see you to talk about this whole idea of gods and godhood as well.
Sure, why not? I think we can speak openly, right?
Yes.
Now, you strike me as a planar traveler, am I correct?
Yeah.
You can see the magic swirling around you wildly. Now, Johan over here is also a bit of a planar traveler, as I said.
Ooh.
What's your home plane? Where do you hail from?
Chicago.
West Philadelphia. Born and raised on the playground.
My family comes from Sigil, but not this Sigil, another Sigil.
I thought as much. I can't place your origins in this entire...
Are you a dimension traveler then as well? Not just a plane traveler?
It makes sense then that magic swirls around you so chaotically. This is not the right dimension for you.
Yeah.
Is he 2D?
Are you the
Turn
Flash?
sideways? Yeah.
If you'd like, I may know a way for you to return back to your home dimension, if that is your desire.
Well, maybe not my home, but one intriguing.
Well, I mean, if it's Sigil you want, then I could send you to Sigil quite easily.
No, I can get to Sigil pretty easily myself. But this dimension is dying, and if it does die, I'd like to be able to hop back to a different one. I'm not quite sure how I did it the first few times. It just kind of happens.
Well, I suppose then I can tell you openly, along with your companions, there is a place in the Astral Sea known as the Tower of Ages. It's, well, it's a tower, obviously, made of gray and white stone, but there are people saying that there are creatures, interdimensional creatures, that inhabit it, and that from there, you can go almost anywhere. The world will stay the same, but slightly changed, and I think that might be what happened to you. You come from a dimension that is slightly altered from ours, but wholly separate. And as for you, Jessup, what question do you have for me?
Would there be a way to locate do you know of a way to locate a dead god's body?
Well, there are many dead gods, and
I'm trying
more
to
and
find
more each day.
Saloon's body, if at all possible.
I don't know the location of Saloon's body. I know of Balin's body. It's
Yes,
a well-known one.
We're headed there.
I know one of the celestial gods, part of his body, has shown up in the astral plane recently.
Which one?
It was, I believe, a god of righteous war, or some such nonsense. But there's a small...
Kellamvor?
Kellamvor. No, Kellamvor still lives. He's...
Are you talking about Hor?
Yes, I believe so.
A part of the body, so not the whole body.
Just the head, from what I understand.
Oh, shit. Well, that's pretty
Not thinking.
The most important part,
shit.
one might say.
The head is currently floating around about blah 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 distance away.
Is it alive?
No, it's actually showing quite a pained expression right now. But there's a small group of angelic beings that are currently attending it. They seem to be worshipping it or something like that.
That sounds very interesting.
It would be a lot creepier if the disembodied head was floating around like...
Hey there! Hiya! It's just a disembodied head and one hand waving like this.
I'm actually, we have lots of things to do. This is just, if we manage to come across it, would be very interesting. I'm very much interested in what happens to pieces of God's essence once they die.
I'm a little interested in the Mystara thing. You mentioned Malekith came here on a quest to find a new host. Did he happen to mention what kind of host? I mean, if he were to come here, was he searching for a plant host?
For a dead god?
Usually it's a young woman.
I know, usually, but
Yeah.
I was wondering what his plans were.
I imagine at this point it doesn't really matter, but he was making for Balin.
Balin, to host and stuff.
It was my understanding that the hope was that Mystra could enter and control Balin's body, and use that as a vehicle, so to speak, with which to fight the other gods. Now,
That I'm on board with.
I have more information, though. Balin's body has become something of a war zone as of late.
Giant monks?
The monks, the protectors of the body, obviously are opposed to bringing it back to life. It's their home. It's
What
the place
order
that...
are they? Do you know?
I should have come up with a cool sounding name for them.
Order of the Giant Fist.
The...
The finger.
No... The... Gravekeepers? It's kind of a giant grave.
Yeah.
They sometimes call themselves gravekeepers, although their formal name, I think, is some long giant's phrase that takes several minutes to say out loud.
Gigantic sentence.
Giants have giant sentences, yes.
That would make sense.
If he didn't come here for
Lots of-
plants from you, what did he come
Large
here for?
dangling
To
particles.
rest, he seemed to have come under attack by some malevolent forces. He came here to rest, to recuperate, and for a little light conversation. He's a pleasant enough fellow, very, very intelligent, very well read.
Okay. Who all is fighting on the body?
Well, there is the gravekeepers. They wish to preserve the body as it always has been. There is a group of dwarves and I believe some gnomes that have set up on the body. I don't know entirely what their aims are, but they've built this large structure right into the side of it.
I think we need to go, like, right now. That sounds like, what's the dude that did the castle? Farkas.
Farkas.
I mean,
I believe so. They're using kind of,
Mechanical thing.
yes, mechanical things I've never seen before. I mean, they have thin metal plated ships that rival even the most advanced Githyanki technology, and
Let's go.
the weapons they wield, they've been able to push the Gravekeepers back. Beyond that, some wizards have taken up residence in the body as well. I don't know what their aim is, but they've been fighting with the dwarves quite viciously now for some time. I believe it's the heart that they're after, Balin's heart.
Oh, that's what Farkas needs that to power whatever he's building. That's what he used to power the castle or something, didn't
Do we know? Are you in game or out of game?
he? Okay.
Do we know that
yeah.
that he needs the heart?
Yeah. Well, not that that's what he's going for. I'm supposing now that maybe that's it. Because he
Okay.
needed that when we were in the castle. There was the heart that we had to...
Makes sense.
Was it somebody's heart? Whose heart was
There
it?
was a dragon's heart, right?
It's
Yeah.
So maybe they need a god's heart to power the big thing that they're doing now.
Balin's heart, though his body seems to be dead and he's been laying exactly still for thousands upon thousands of years, the Gravekeepers say the heart still beats. And that's what I believe they are all after.
Wait,
The still beating heart of Balin the brother.
that guy built your castle. It's really wise to be flying the castle to him if he built it.
Well, it's not his anymore. He gave it to Modak, and Modak's dead, so now it's ours.
Okay.
Didn't Corton say something about back doors?
Not sure. I mean, I'm sure he gets it for lots of things. I mean, I enjoy backdoors myself. It's
He said he wanted to put in a screen door?
Did
Nah,
we
let's-
really have to turn this into an ale
I don't
joke?
know what you're talking about.
I'm sure he said he's been messing around in the stuff.
I mean, it makes sense. You guys wouldn't know, like, computer terms.
yeah. Somebody's been messing around with Gordon's back door.
Never play with a bunch of men.
They're miserable people.
Everything's a man joke.
It's a failure of a gender, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Break time? Alright, we can take a little break, yeah.
Um,
What time is it, actually? 'Cause
12 to 1.
12 to 1, so you guys want to play till about 2 or so? 2:30 at the most?
Two.
I can do
Yeah, I
2:15.
need to 2:15.
Okay, so we'll take a little break now, and then we'll do the next episode of Dice Nerds and Nagas. So, another talking heavy episode. We left Grandfather Turtle and the others behind. We've made it to the gardens of Ivan the Green Thumb, and Balin's body seems to be next. So check us out next time for a more action-packed, explosive episode of Dice Nerds and Nagas.